as we've been reporting throughout the show this evening, dozens of Britons are among hundreds missing after flash flooding and mudslides hit the border of Nepal and Tibet. The number of those believed to have died in the disaster has also risen above 150. That's according to local police. It's understood that the flood surge travelled down the Boat Koshi River from Tibet into the Razuwa district of Nepal, north of Kathmandu, with bridges and houses being swept away in the torrent. Well, here to give us the latest is Aftab Ahmed, who is South Asia chief correspondent for Reuters. He's been watching the story very closely today. Aftab, good evening to you.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Very well. What can you tell us about the situation right now in Nepal, in this border, or at this border with Tibet? What is the latest?
So as you pointed out, the death toll has increased to 157. The situation looks grim because authorities are still warning that this toll could jump further because these places are right now very difficult terrain and it's very difficult for authorities to reach even now. There are a lot of challenges of weather. The terrain has been engulfed with mud and with the debris that has come from the mountains. After the mountain, a part of the mountain seems to have collapsed as well. So it looks like a very difficult operation, which will happen overnight as well, and authorities are trying to pull out people from there. The situation looks grim because a lot of injured people are now starting to get into hospitals close by. Also, some are being flown into Kathmandu, and this could also tomorrow, day after, overwhelm the medical care infrastructure in the coming days and in the rest of the week. So overall, the situation is very grim. Right now, what the authorities are focusing on is rescue operation, trying to figure out the extent.
Apologies, I think your line has just gone there, Aftab Ahmed. Let's just see if we can stabilise the line at all. He's just frozen slightly, so he's just giving us a sense of, well, the search and rescue operation at the moment. But that is, of course, in really challenging conditions in Nepal. This is just north of Kathmandu on the Tibetan border. Aftab, thank you again for joining us. So you were talking about police focusing on a search and rescue operation, but the environment for that is incredibly challenging. And as you say, the infrastructure, aid, hospitals, all the help that's going to be needed, that is really going to be severely impacted from now on as injured people start to find their way or be taken to local hospitals.
Yeah. So I think the next stage and the next challenge is to make sure that the medical infrastructure is well equipped. And as you can understand, Nepal being one of the poorest nations in the region, it will be a challenge for them. But there is a lot of support coming in from all the countries, including India, which has extended support, and they are sending whatever is possible right now, and they have promised more. So there is a lot of support coming in, but this will be a big challenge for the government right now. But right now, what the focus will be in the coming days would be the extent of the damage. The toll, unfortunately, could rise even further because as we see those devastating images that have come out and verified by networks like Reuters, ourselves, we can see that there are entire villages which were engulfed by these walls of mud that came swinging down from those mountains, and people could barely escape from those regions. The testimony from some of the survivors is also quite grim. They do not expect a lot of people to survive. So So the toll, unfortunately, could escalate quite a bit. So that would be the focus in the coming days.
Yeah, look, it is incredibly challenging there. There are hundreds missing. Just to give you some latest figures on that, 100 from India. These are the missing tourists. Of course, there'll be local people there as well. 54 from the US, 33 from the UK, and then you've got 100 from Nepal itself. That is according to the Tourist Board. We know this about the Brits, is that some were travelling in the area with a company called Alpine Eco Trek. The company confirmed 12 British nationals had been on its tour across the Nepal-Tibet border, and they are missing. I mean, I can only try and imagine just how scary it would be to get caught up in something like this as a tourist as well.
Yeah, and also the communication. So the worst should not be assumed. I would feel that because the communication devices are not working, internet is not working, 12% of Nepal's total electricity capability has been impacted. So a lot of people might not be able to get phones to charge, and there is no internet, of course. Even normal mobile phone networks are not working in these regions. So there is hope, I would say, for people who are missing right now and who were not in the region at the time when this floods hit those regions at those times. But the scale at which this happened is massive.
Absolutely.
This is not only the Nepali region that was hit; it was also the Chinese Tibetan region.
Yeah, and there are deaths there as well.
And Chinese television has said that there are 3 people who have died. 260 odd people are missing on the Tibet region in the Gairong region of Tibet.
Yeah. Aftab, the cause of this, it had been thought initially, Nepal's foreign minister had said that an earthquake may have triggered the landslide, but it's now understood the US Geological Survey says that seismic energy was instead generated by a landslide. That landslide then, of course, caused these huge floodwaters, these huge, massive floods sweeping through the territory. Do we know any more than that? Is that as much as we can establish so far on the cause?
So from satellite images, from what we have seen and what we have reported, is that it seems that there was a part of a glacier which fell into the Lendu Khola River that triggered the floods. Now, what we don't know is what caused a part of the glacier to fall into the river. That's not very clear. There are 2 or 3 theories that are floating. One of them is that there was an earthquake minutes before in the Tibet region that could have triggered that. Right. There are other theories that are floating around there, but even the government has said that it could have been an earthquake which triggered this whole thing. But right now they are in a fact-finding mission. But more importantly, the Nepali government is focused on rescue missions, and I think this will be their second priority as per now.
Thank you, Aftab Ahmed. Great to speak to you. Thank you very much for filling us in there. Lots of detail concerning that flash flooding and mudslides in Nepal on the border with Tibet. Aftab Ahmed is South Asia chief correspondent for Reuters. Thank you for being with us. Just an update for you. The UK Embassy in Nepal is advising British nationals affected by those floods to follow guidance from local authorities, remain alert to the changing situation. The Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State Baroness Winterton has made a statement. We're working closely with the Nepalese, she says, following concerning reports of British nationals over 33, we understand, who are missing.